You were saying about what we're afraid of, and I think that we are just heeding the warnings of our parents and grandparents who were in Germany and I'm thinking particularly of my father-in-law, who was thrown out of what was then Czechoslovakia.
Yes.
And he remembers the barber who had cut his hair since he was born, and all his family waving and smiling as they went. And he said that the support that they had of the Nazis, they voted in an anti-Semite. And that's what we are afraid of. That is the whole thing. It's not.
And what would you? And I ask this very calmly and kindly. What would you point at in Jeremy Corbyn that you think has echoes of Adolf Hitler?
Obviously, I'm not comparing him.
Well, you with respect, you just did.
Okay. Well, the fact that he has never backed down from an opinion. He has got a one-way opinion as far as Israel's concerned, and of Palestine.
We're not talking about Israel, and we're not talking about Israel. Palestine. We're talking about Nazi persecution of the Jews. And as a non-Jew, and as someone who doesn't hold a torch for Jeremy Corbyn, I find that breathtaking, and I think you really need to back it up, Rosanna. So what is it about Jeremy Corbyn that reminds you of Adolf Hitler's Nazi party?
It's not just one thing.
You can name as many things as you want.
Well, each thing shows that, and he always.
What things? What are we talking about? Because I'm quite strong on 1930s Germany. I know exactly how Hitler marshalled anti-Semitism as a political force and used it long before he achieved full power, used it as an incredibly potent weapon. So where are the examples of Jeremy Corbyn using anti-Semitism as a political weapon?
Well, I'm not saying he's using it as an anti-Semitism.
We probably shouldn't have mentioned the Nazis then, Rosanna.
Probably shouldn't have. Okay, I shouldn't have said
but
it
here
from
you
that
are.
point of view, but you actually said to me, asked what we're afraid of.
Yes, but you know how this programme works, and then after the what, you get the why.
Maybe using him and saying putting him with a Nazi was wrong.
Well, not maybe. I mean, either you can point at something that says that reminds me of the Nazis, or you can't. And at the moment, you can't.
The feeling at the moment, the undercurrent of anti-Semitism is like the undercurrent leading up to the war.
There was no undercurrent of anti-Semitism in 1930s Germany. It was absolutely everywhere.
Well, maybe before that then, as it was leading in. The blame of everything on the Jews, not everything, but a lot of it on the Jews.
So again, I'm sorry to badger you, but I want an example. I just want one example of something that stands comparison with 1930s Germany that Jeremy Corbyn could be reasonably accused of. Because I've got nothing.
No, it's not. It's little things. That's the thing. It is little things.
Well, there's nothing little about the Nazis, is there, or the Holocaust? And you did begin by saying that you fear repetition of that era and those politics. And we end with you, I think, perhaps recognising that there's no evidence for that position at all.
The reason people fear him coming in is that the undercurrent is getting louder. But
then I'm going to ask for examples again.
Well, look, one after the other of Labour candidates who feel that they can come out and say things that are denying the Holocaust or I'm
not aware of any Labour candidates denying the Holocaust.
I think they may not have denied, but they have definitely belittled. And
plenty of people on the right do that daily. Yes. I mean, most of the biggest Holocaust deniers one can think of are right-wing, not left-wing. So again, I'm really struggling to see, and you're not alone in doing it, and I certainly don't want to minimise your concerns, and I'm confident that I haven't. But if people are going to reach for the Nazi analogies, with love, Rosanna, they need a hell of a lot more evidence than you've got. Otherwise, actually, I mean, it's a vile thing to accuse someone of. It's not something you should do lightly. He reminds me of Hitler, is the subtext of what you've said. What do you fear? A repeat of the persecution of Jews undertaken by the Nazis. That's an appalling thing to say about somebody if you really stop and think about it, unless you've got evidence. And undercurrents and are not evidence.